the term survivor means nothing anymore. If you get groped by someone or someone smacks your ass or gropes your tits, you are not a survivor. All those things happening to someone are shitty and I don't condone them in the slightest. But you are in no way a survivor. That should be a label given to people who actually survive things that could have killed them. Someone getting through a violent rape where the person tried to kill them. Absolutely a survivor? You get groped or some guy kisses you. Not at all a survivor. Change my mind. Words have lost their meaning across the board. Everything is used out of context and for the wrong reasons. I think this also kinda goes for the word hero for healthcare workers. Everyone is saying it so often that I'm sure they don't want to hear it so much. I've seen so many posts from people who just want to be paid for what they are doing. I survived this morning's hangover. Don't victim shame me. This reminds me of the great heated debate of calling the Louisianians, misplaced by Katrina refugees or survivors or victims, and everybody got offended no matter what the news called them. It only means something when you're referencing the reality show. The thing is, when you're in a really low place and you put into perspective all the things you've survived, it can help you tremendously to build your self-esteem and crawl out of mental illness. I'm a survivor is one of my favorite affirmations to remind myself that I'm a strong individual. A therapist in rehab that presented me with this particular affirmation really opened my eyes up to reframing my thoughts as positive instead of negative. I totally understand where you're coming from and I will respect your opinion, but most of the time in my limited experience I find that survivor is used in contexts like war survivor, cancer survivor, etc. I can see this getting on the controversial section. I think they use the term because some people don't survive the psychological effects of sexual assault and they take their own life. Victims usually do not call themselves victims. Survivors usually do not call themselves survivors. My concern lies with where this opinion was formulated. It seems as though UP is rating sexual assaults on a scale. Trust this place to use semantics to downplay and mock people being proud to mentally overcome being raped. That act can absolutely change who you are, how you see the world and your trajectory in life. It causes trauma, and it's very valid to say you survived that trauma. I have been sexually assaulted but never actually raped, and I think what I have gone through was terrible. I wouldn't say I am a survivor, but pretty damn close. It made me distrust anyone I have met due to a never-ending fear that the next person would rape me. I really think you are downplaying how messed up the whole scenario is, and by gatekeeping a really gray area you are not helping anyone, but making their feelings or trauma feel invalid. How else would you describe someone who experienced an assault? A victim. That carries a lot of stigma, and is again not helpful for people who have experienced this shitty behavior. While I cannot change your mind, may I ask why you have such strong feelings over this? I believe the term survivor is used more often because it emphasizes just how bad the experience is. Saying you're a rape victim doesn't carry the same weight as saying you are a rape survivor. I think the term originated in the use of the term Holocaust survivor. People obviously don't typically die from rape, they mean to use the term as a stronger synonym for victim. I am not trying to compare the two, simply pointing out a possible origin of why the way survivor is used in this context. The number of people commenting how rape is just sex is absolutely appalling. Rape and sexual assault are all about power, control, and violence against another individual. It's not sex. Sex implies consent. God, I hate this website. Like, why do you even care if victims of assault call themselves survivors to better help themselves cope? It won't kill you. Jesus Christ. Like, who hurt you? I do not know how this post got so many upvotes. You are wrong, basically because your opinion is meaningless. The meanings of to survive is basically to carry on in opposition to hardship. Not merely to not die. Survive, surviv. V. Survived, surviving, survives. V. Intr. To remain alive or in existence. To carry on despite hardships or trauma, persevere, families that were surviving in tents after the flood. To remain functional or usable, I dropped the radio, but it survived. Jesus Christ, the absolute delusion and ignorance on trauma and its effects on the brain is strong here. Most of you know nothing regarding trauma/sexual assault, and it shows, and I can tell most of you idiots are males. I am really sick of these unpopular opinions regarding psychological themes spouting ignorance and people in the comments downplaying sexual assault. You have no right to downplay or invalidate someone's trauma. Any amount of sexual assault is traumatic. Not everyone reacts to it the same. Survivor is not meant to be taken literal in any shape or form, and being groped can lead to a worse fate. In short, just stop talking about things you know nothing about. Counter unpopular opinion, you're gatekeeping the word survivor. What about someone who has actually been raped? There doesn't have to be a death threat to make you a survivor. I don't know, dude, getting groped and kissed by some random guy and trying to stand for yourself against them is pretty dangerous for a woman. https://www. Washington Post. com/crime/2019/11/27/ woman ignored man's catcalls so he chased her down, killed her, prosecutors say / output type equals amp. https://kysdc.com/3402376/ the man who allegedly killed Mary Spears after she rejected him has been charged with murder /amp/. Something I've noticed. People who say change my mind never actually want their minds changed. You're wrong in this context, Op. Everything you described is a sexual assault. If anything is done in any sexual context without consent, and is forced, then it is an assault. If people want to call themselves a survivor and bring attention to something super shitty that happened to them, then I'm all for it. Stop gatekeeping people's trauma, you assholes. The way you say being groped or being kissed so casually is not good. When people say they are survivors in these senses, they are talking about being able to work through their trauma and move past it. The word survivor means nothing to you because I'm assuming you've never experienced these things, you don't understand what it means.